coverage now of the conflict between Iran and Israel. It has now been a week since Israel launched its surprise attack on Iran, named Operation Rising Lion. The conflict at this point has taken at least 650 lives in Iran, according to a U.S.-based human rights group, and at least 30 in Israel. Hundreds have been hurt, too, as missiles and airstrikes have flown back and forth between the two nations. There is some hope for diplomacy this morning. Iran's foreign minister is meeting with Britain, France, and Germany in Switzerland to try to find a way to prevent this from escalating any further. That being said, President Trump is weighing whether or not to join Israel in striking Iran. The White House press secretary saying that he will make that decision within the next 2 weeks. So that's what we are watching this morning. I want to now bring in our congressional correspondent, Nathaniel Reed. Nate, good morning to you. This conflict has escalated so much, within just the first week. What are lawmakers on Capitol Hill saying about getting involved in this? I'm curious.
Aaron, there are sharply divided opinions on Capitol Hill about the best way to move forward on Iran. There are senators who believe, Republicans and Democrats, that a preemptive strike on their nuclear program, much like Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu wants the U.S. to conduct, would constitute an act of war and could drag the U.S. into a larger conflict in the region. There are also Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill who believe that that preemptive strike, preventing Iran from continuing its nuclear program, would not constitute an act of war or an act of aggression by the U.S. So a lot of questions about what the best path forward is. At the same time, sharp divisions and opinions on Capitol Hill. Take a listen.
Most people don't at all think that the president has to get war powers resolutions to defend our troops and our citizens, and I think that's what's going on right now.
We need to de-escalate. The point is not to get the president to see if he can push everything to the edge so that Congress's options are taken away.
And look, Congress has a fair amount of authority here. There's a couple things that it has jurisdiction over. For one, power of the purse, determining where the United States spends its money that it collects in taxes and other income sources. And two, the power to declare war. The question of whether the U.S. could enter into a larger conflict with Iran. Again, sharply divergent opinions on Capitol Hill about the best way to move forward. Again, President Trump saying that he'll make a decision within the next 2 weeks, but leaving it fairly vague about what that future could hold. The U.S. appears to be monitoring these talks that are expected later this morning in Geneva, Switzerland. The British Foreign Secretary meeting yesterday with the Secretary of State Marco Rubio here in Washington, D.C. before jetting off to those talks. Again, Iran at this point saying that they're not ready to meet with the United States, given the U.S.'s demand that they surrender their nuclear program. Again, a lot of questions about whether there's a diplomatic off-ramp before strikes could happen.
Yeah, there is a lot on the table, Nate. Thank you so much. I'm curious to see what comes out of that meeting in Switzerland today.